Soren Kierkegaard said, "There are two ways to be fooled. One is to believe what isn't true. The other is to refuse to believe what is true." George Orwell told us that in a time of deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act, while Aldous Huxley reminded us that facts do not cease to exist because they are ignored. Lastly, Joe Class said, "The truth will set you free. But first, it will piss you off." This is the news show, Whiskey Hell. Think critically. Act accordingly.
Saturday, April 20th, 7:35 in the evening. This is Whiskey Hell Podcast. This is your week in review. Fitz, how's it going?
Great. Just great. Just great. How are you? I'm going to tell you right now what did not happen. What did not just happen. While
right.
you were
lay back on the psychiatrist's couch.
No, what did not happen while we were listening to our walk-up song was that I did not spill a beer all over myself. That did not happen.
Oh no! Well, I'm glad it didn't happen.
Right. So therefore that means I'm not covered in towels right now.
Okay.
And sticky and smelling like stale beer. None of those things are happening right now.
That sounds like an old Friday night.
Am I? Well, I just wanted to take us back to the good old days.
Sticky and towels.
How are you, man?
Covered in beer.
Yeah.
It's been an interesting week. It's been an interesting week. I'm glad we got to the weekend though, and I just ready for the show. Just ready for the fucking show.
Yeah. There's so much to talk about.
I'm done adulting.
Yeah,
I can tell you that. That's for goddamn sure. There's been too much of that lately.
No, I hear that. Yeah, I had this picture, this analogy in my head. Like you're in a hot air balloon, right? And you're just up there, you're just sailing around, you're looking at things, you're looking at the world as far as you can see it from your altitude, and then your pilot, are they called pilots? I guess they'd be a pilot. Your pilot's like, "Hey, I don't want to alarm anyone, but we might have a problem." And then you just hear like ping, and one of the strings to your balloon breaks to your basket. and the pilot's like, "It's okay. This happens all the time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start picking out a landing."
Okay.
And right, so he starts descending, but ping, another rope fires off, and now the basket's hanging awkwardly, and everyone's really fearing for what's about to happen, and he's coming down, but you're still high enough that if the last couple of ropes break, it's gonna be really bad. Well, McShane, that was my week. And we landed. The other two ropes didn't break, but it was close.
Well, we're gonna keep the show going.
Okay.
We're gonna keep this dirigible in the air.
Okay.
And
I like it.
We've got some wonderful folks in chat tonight.
Yes, we do.
Beard of Liberty, who 4-hour marathon stream show just before getting here. So I hope he's hydrated and at least a little bit liquored up, because Jesus, that's 4 hours. Wow. Yikes.
That's a haul. Yeah.
It truly is. We've got Buttercup and L. Thank you both for joining us. Mike Johnson's Black Male Evidence is here. We're going to talk about that later. Aaron, thank you. And I think you're right. I think there is some black male evidence there for Mr. Mike Johnson. And Porn Stash. Jay just got off work. So welcome.
Yeah, that really truly, I'm not fucking around here. I mean, it's truly an honor that you get off of work and you choose to spend your time with us. That's pretty fucking cool, dude. I mean, that any of you decide to spend your time with us is cool, but the dude just got off of work and he's
Yep.
like, "Hey, you know what? You know how I'm gonna wind down? I'm gonna listen to a couple of assholes talk about the news." That's
That's
just
right.
cool.
It's fucking rad.
Did you hear on that Mike Johnson thing? Have you heard any of Tucker Carlson's interview with Joe Rogan?
I did not make it all the way through. I made it
Okay.
to the alien part, but I understand
Okay.
after trolling X for a while, yeah, it's very suspect who's in whose pocket and why they're in somebody's pocket.
Right. Right. I thought that was so telling. And you can say a lot of things about Tucker. He's not a liar. I mean, I believe him. I believe that he had that conversation with a, as he put it, high-ranking uh, elected official who's been in, you know, in the sludge for a long time. And everything Tucker said, the guy was like, "No, you're right. You're right. That's how it is. That's
And, and
what are we
truly, I mean,
doing?"
this is all speculation, right? I mean, it's just speculation.
Of course. Of
Like
course. Of course.
like our whole show, it's totally speculation. We're
Yeah,
not
we don't know anything.
lawyers. Yeah,
No.
we're not accountants. We're not financial advisors. Doctors definitely not. Yeah, don't listen to us. But if you want to speculate, yeah, I kind of wonder what they have on Mike Johnson.
Yeah. Truly.
Not my Johnson, Mike Johnson. The
Right. No, I mean, nobody has anything on your Johnson, dude. Your Johnson's clean
I
as a
yeah, I don't have anything
Irish
on my
whistle,
Johnson right now.
which is a problem, I think.
Maybe we'll see how the night goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
What beer are you drinking?
Well, our mystery beer tonight comes to us by way of Bearlick Beer Company. This is a an outfit out of Portland. I believe I reviewed one of their other beers before, maybe even a couple. They do a lot. Of course, it's a West Coast, brewery, so they do a lot of IPAs, which I'm not going to hold it against them because one thing I really like about their whole message is, they oh gosh, what's their tag? Something about like, we're like wildly independent. Like they just do their own thing. They don't give a shit what anyone else is doing. They use like the purest, best ingredients, all grown from local farms, and so they just kind of have that whole vibe going on. They also do have a couple of, lagers, and they have an oatmeal stout that they feature. So they don't just do IPAs, but they definitely that's their go-to, that's their wheelhouse. So the beer I poured was light. Um, it's the head is already thinned out. I'm gonna say it's an IPA, and I'm gonna go a step further and say it might even be a hazy, although it's
Okay.
not real hazy in color, but it has that scent to it. So, but it's definitely in the IPA family. Let's see what we got.
You guys can go to Bearlick. It's
Hmm.
BAERLIC brewing.com. If
Fuck
you guys want
me.
to check them out.
This could be any one of these. Honestly. Um,
All right. Lager
it's not the IP.
or
No, it's not the hazy. I'm
okay.
gonna rule out the hazy.
Okay.
It's not smooth enough for a hazy. It's got some grapefruit and pine to it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna
So
actually go with the Stay Fresh West Coast.
okay. Okay.
It's kind of one of their staples.
It sounds
Yeah,
West Coast. It sounds West Coast to me.
yeah, yeah. Stay Fresh gives candied orange, dank grapefruit, and most of all, bold bitterness. All right, let's see. Let's see what we got. The big reveal. Ooh, come on off of there. And what do we got? Oh, damn it. I almost picked this one. This is actually Punk Rock Time. That's another one of their
Punk
IPAs.
rock
It's
time.
it's their cask.
Oh, oh, it's a cask IPA. Interesting.
It's a
All right.
cask IPA.
Okay.
Amarillo, Strata, and Chinook hops. This is not the time to be dismayed. This is punk rock time. This is what Joe Strummer trained you for. Henry Rollins. That's a quote from Henry Rollins. So,
Nice.
uh, cool can. They got a vest. looks like an old denim vest with a bunch of, steel studs on it and some patches. It's just a cool like punk rock vest on there. Very cool vibe. Really, I mean, as IPAs go, I lean towards the fruitier, smoother, sweeter IPAs. This is actually kind of a hell of a way to kick off the night, just because of how the week went. I kind of,
Okay.
I kind of came into the weekend a little bitter, so this is perfect. It's fitting right in here.
So
I
you're
like
going
it.
to continue with the bitterness.
I
Okay.
am. I'm gonna roll with it. So, what about you? What are you imbibing?
So I haven't had an Anchorage brewing in a long time, so I'm going to go with
Mm.
Anchorage Brewing Company. Nice brewery out of Anchorage, Alaska. Um, Little obnoxious in the pricing when it comes to the bottle because the bottle is small, but it's a 12. This one is a 8%er. I've got a Belgian style golden strong ale. It's called
Okay.
Turn. So pours a nice yellow, little bit of head on it, just like a Belgian should. A Belgian golden should. It's a
Oh
little on
yeah,
the sweet
Belgian
side.
Goldens. They give the best head. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'll die on that hill.
Oh,
Anchorage. If I ever make it back up to Alaska, because I have been up there. If I ever make it back up there, I would I would go there just for that brewery. I just like their vibe too.
yeah. Bitter.
Okay.
It's all
Interesting.
alcohol.
Oh.
Typically with a Belgian, you're gonna get a little bit more of a yeasty banana, just a kind of a sweetness to it. There that is not here. It's not bad, but it's super dry. Not what I was expecting at
No one
all.
likes dry head.
No.
No.
Sandpaper head? No, that's bad. Bad.
No, no, no. Yeah, that's bad news.
So we'll see how that one warms up. That may be one of the ones
Yeah.
that, but it's a little bit hoppier, um, and it was actually fermented and aged in oak filters. So interesting. Not what I was expecting. We'll see how that goes.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna. I know we're heading to housekeeping here. I'm gonna give us a little bit of props here. I really feel like our range in beers has, and I know this is intentional. We both talked about it, and we're trying to broaden our horizons here, which is kind of why I'm
Right,
doing the mystery beer. Like,
right,
if I
right,
don't
right.
know what's coming, I can't say no to it. Um, but I have no idea what you're gonna pick week to week. I mean, it used to be there for a while. We were just going those imperial
Yeah,
stouts, dessert stouts, maybe a milkshake here and there, but some sours. But now I feel like week to week, I think our listeners are getting a nice broad, array of beers, of beer styles, of breweries, and every once in a while, we're gonna get a beer we don't like, and that's
yeah,
okay. You
yeah,
might love it. So we're gonna give you our honest and forthright opinion. But man, go out and try beer, man. Go try it all. At the very least, you're still gonna get a buzz. So anyway, I
yeah.
just wanted
And
to.
it's a good way to
I
hydrate.
exactly 100%.
So you're winning. And honestly, it's good for you. There's nothing in there that's bad.
No.
All right. So housekeeping, I don't know that we have a whole lot to get into as far as housekeeping goes. Big thank you to all the new listeners and new follows on X. Really like seeing it. Just want to keep growing and being, solid in our ability to debate. A little obnoxious when it's necessary, and trying to keep it fun. So if anybody ever has any suggestions, obviously reach out to us. It's at whiskey_hell. And you guys can always go to the website whiskeyhellpod.com to
Yeah,
reach
I
us.
I have I have appreciated the discourse. I've also appreciated that I've had a few people over the last few weeks asking me my opinion on different meteorological occurrences. Weather stuff. The Dubai thing. I got quite a bit of discussion from what happened in Dubai this week, which I know we're going to get to. So yeah, it's just makes getting on X so much more enjoyable when we actually have a conversation going up. A not even a it's just a dialogue. It's just like, wow, you're communicating with people from around the world. It's pretty
Absolutely.
amazing. I have a quick shout out to give. Our friend Buttercup and L, friends Buttercup and L, sent me a shirt a while back. And for any of you who are new listeners, every once in a while, a nugget will get said on this show, either by McShane or Hefe or myself. And I had one that night, and I said my new career was going to be, knitting. So I was, doing the whole Fitz knits. And anyway, our two ladies, great fans, sent me a shirt that says Fitz knits on it. I am rocking that shirt tonight, and I have to tell you, ladies, I'm going to move in close because I want you to understand. This shirt hugs my breasts so perfectly. I look so good in this shirt. I look better than a man should look in this shirt. So thank you for sending the shirt. Thank you for thinking of me. And I'm going to rock this thing all the time because it just like hugs my body perfectly. So anyway, that's my shout out. We can now move on.
All right. So, a lot of the stuff that happened this week was, well, we're back to random bizarreness again. One thing that we noticed was there was an incredible amount that really, really didn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot
Stuff
of
they're saying
non-starts.
things, yeah, things are going to happen
Yeah.
and nothing does. And
Well, I mean, if I may be so bold, I think they're taking a page out of our book because we've been predicting shit for a long time, and a lot of it hasn't happened. Although, and I'll just use the one example: the economy. That has already died. We just don't know it yet. We're just still riding that dead horse. There's no argument about that. You can point to any number of factors that prove that the economy's dead. It's just that the AI and stock market won't let it die yet. That's literally, I mean, it's just all, fake overinflated numbers. That's the only thing keeping the economy alive. So that prediction has come true. We just haven't seen the effects yet. But yeah, there was just a bunch of doom and gloom out there, and so we start to brace, and then nothing, and then we fall flat on our face because we were so braced for the incoming, impact.
well, it's the brazen head fakes that are happening now. So we have Bank of America claims that there was going to be this Black Monday this past last Monday, and nothing happened. I mean, yeah, the stock market looked like shit, but it wasn't a Black Monday.
No, it wasn't apocalyptic.
No, we have the impeachment of Mayorkas, Homeland Security Mayorkas, went forward, and it was completely shot down, completely thrown out.
Oh, yeah. That was like that baby was stillborn. It never even took a breath.
And then we have all
Yeah,
the retaliations between Israel and Iran, and it was supposed to happen, and then it didn't happen, and the U.S. is leaking that it happens, and they leak that they've got a deal, and then there's no deal. It's all fucking theater.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. I've got a buddy here who tends to overreact a bit. And so, it was the whole, as soon as bombs apparently were falling in Iran, he was like, all right, here we go. And he just kept sending me thing after thing after thing. And the more I looked at it, I was like, that's not
All
Israel.
bullshit.
Yeah, this isn't Israel. And if it is Israel, it's them, flicking your nutsack or your nipple or something. This isn't them full on attacking you with a machine gun. They're just trying to annoy you. And then more comes out, and it's like it was a non-starter. It wasn't even like, and it could have been done by some like in-house rebels inside the country. Like we have no idea what happened. Some F-14s got blown up apparently, which did Tom Cruise and Top Gun Maverick do some prediction there? Because these third world countries have a lot of old American tech, and some of that,
Yeah.
a lot of that is our old F-14s. So I don't
I
know.
really
It
like the
was
F-14.
really
The Tomcat
really
was
odd.
cool.
Oh, I always loved that plane. It just looked aggressive and mean, and like it was gonna fuck you up. And
And massive.
it was big. Yeah, it was big and it was fast. It wasn't real maneuverable, but that didn't matter because it had those fucking Phoenix missiles on it that could hit you from 2 miles away. Um, I don't know. I've always loved that plane too. But anyway, there's a few less of them in the world now.
A Beard of Liberty said, "Don't knock the nipple flick."
Well, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying it happens enough times, and you go, okay, flick something else. Like that's annoying. But a nipple can only get so hard, Beard. It can only get so hard.
That's true.
There's a limit on the Mohs scale. I'm pulling out some chemistry here, but on the Mohs scale, there's a limit to how hard a nipple can get, and I think it's somewhere up around diamond,
Now, what is
like
that?
like a 9.
Is that the measurement of nipple hardness?
No, the Mohs scale is like a measurement of hardness, period. And they usually, they measure dumb things like rocks, but I'm measuring body parts, and I'm saying
Okay.
this is the fit scale, and so I would say a nipple can get pretty hard, but I don't know if it can get as hard as a penis. A penis. Penises get hard. Not as hard as, say, a kneecap, but close.
Right. Right. Or like a shin.
Right. Yeah, but you can't. I was thinking just things that can penetrate. You can't really penetrate with a shin, but you can with a knee.
It's true. And I guess you could with a nipple if you really want to work hard enough at it. You might be able to get a nipple.
Hey,
in there, too.
I could absolutely send you some some movies that happens. And
Okay.
it's cooler than you think. All right, what else we got here? What's going on?
Well, the big one I think is what happened today.
Yeah.
Our wonderful Congress went ahead and took care of, well, pretty much everything in one fell swoop. The bill that they passed today took care of TikTok, took care of banning TikTok. It also had it had 95 billion for Israel, Taiwan, and Ukraine. It also took care of the FISA.
Yes, it did. That was tucked in
Spying
there
rules.
nicely. Yep.
So, 2 more years of they can tap you, tape you, and everything without a warrant, which is nice. And they just railroaded this thing through, and it's a done deal. And it was all wrapped up into a foreign aid bill.
Yeah, on a Saturday, and the to me the okay, of course, once we heard that they were tucking the TikTok into the folds of this foreign aid bill, you knew it was going to pass. That's the only way they could get that through, right? It's a done deal. What really made me, I was mad when I heard that they were just going to emergency vote on this thing on a Saturday, on 4/20, no less.
Oh yeah.
Right. But then have you seen the footage of after the vote passed? These sycophantic, mindless zombies just start clapping.
Mm-hmm.
They start cheering because the bill passed. When was the last time you saw cheers for a passed bill?
Well, it's cheers and also Ukrainian flags on the floor of our Congress.
Yep.
That's just absurd.
It's absurd because if you have kept up with the facts of that particular conflict, I'm not even going to call it a war. It's not a war. I mean, I guess if you're in it, it's a war, but it's from our point of view over here, it's a conflict. The facts meter out that the only reason we would be supporting Ukraine at all is because of our business interests there. And because we probably have some secrets over there that we want buried. We don't want getting out into the open. We don't want Putin having access to those secrets. Beyond that, there is literally no strategic advantage to us being in that war, period. And to see the Ukrainian flag on the floor, that's what I mean. They're mindless zombies. These people are mindless zombies. They will do and say whatever they are told. And you know what? They're getting paid off to do it. And or as Mike alluded to earlier, maybe there's some major fucking blackmail. Maybe there's some kiddie porn on a computer somewhere that you don't want someone finding. Unbelievable.
They're in the pocket of somebody. They've got to be in the pocket of somebody. It's blatant. It is abusive. None of this should be happening in our Congress. It's just, and this is the most insulting thing. And there's a lot of fallout from this already. There's a lot of chatter about this. This is not going to go over well. Now, is anybody going to do anything about it?
No.
Nobody's going to do a damn thing about it. Is anybody going to get rid of Michael Johnson? Mike Johnson? No. Nobody's going to get rid of him. No.
You know, one thing that I'm going to suggest that someone might, again, full disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor. I'm not a tax specialist. I'm not certified in taxes. Hell, I'm not even licensed to do massage. Okay, so don't even get your genitals near me. But I will say, it would be a fun day if next year nobody paid their taxes. Like, as a collective, and we can't do it through TikTok anymore. But what if everyone on Instagram? What if everyone on Facebook? What if everyone on X just started a movement that next April 15th is don't pay your taxes day? I'm saying what if. I'm not suggesting it. I'm just asking what would happen.
Well, it's
because if we can't vote these fucks out, and they're clearly not listening to us. I mean, nobody, not one person I know or have ever met in my life wants 3 wars, funding 3 countries and on 3 different fronts, and wants TikTok banned. Nobody I know wants that, any of those things. And yet here we are with a overwhelming vote by our quote unquote representatives passing this bill. It wasn't even close. So, okay, if we don't have a voice anymore, then let's vote with our dollars. Just like people did with Bud Light, just like people did with Target. Fuck you guys. You're going to do shit we don't like? You don't get our money. I'm just saying, what if we did?
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. And I was absolutely destroyed in taxes this year. And to know that I don't get to list Ukraine as a dependent is absolute bullshit.
Yeah, and or some other deduction, a dependent, or just I don't know. I don't even know what you would list them as.
Bunch of assholes.
We
have a Hefe.
We do have a Hefe.
Hey,
how's it going, sir?
Oh, I got a roulette story real quick.
No,
do it.
You're on fire with roulette lately, so we're excited for that.
It's because I sent that video.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, of course.
Well, we took a little step back tonight.
Oh.
Guys betting nickels, and I hit a couple numbers for him. And he goes, "All right, here," and he puts down $20. He goes, "Pick your numbers," and it depends on who the supervisor is, if we're allowed to do that or not. And the girl I had said, "No, he should probably do it for you." I was like, "All right." So I gave him the chips back, and he asked me the numbers. It's stupid, but it is what it is. So I told him, I got 4 numbers that I usually play if they ask me. 6, 11, and 22, 27. So I told him. He played them. We missed. And he goes, "All right." But he had like chips all over the place. So I was like, he's not going to remember my numbers. and I can't be like, well, one of those was mine, and so I was like, I'm gonna group them like somewhere like that we know these are mine. So the next time I said, all right, let's go down here towards the end of the board. Let's do like, I think it was 20, 28, 29, 32, 33, something like that. So like a little, like a square. So I know these 4 right here in the square are mine, and the fucking 6 comes up.
Oh.
So $180 down the fucking tubes.
Yeah.
Well, that
I'm
sucks.
sorry, man. Yeah.
But it's all right.
Well,
I've always had good luck with Black 28. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, always.
What numbers people love to play for some reason?
What's that?
17 and 20.
Really?
It's like right in the middle of the board.
Okay.
But it's like those are the most common ones that I've seen. It's weird.
Interesting.
You guys want to hear a joke? So that we can segue off of roulette. Okay. Do you know the difference between toilet paper and wallpaper?
What?
Dude, you're disgusting if you don't know the difference.
Wow. Yep. Should have seen that coming.
So easy. It's so easy. Oh shit.
Well, we were talking about Congress and how shitty it was, so I would like to go ahead and play something that we listened to earlier in the week.
Here's how I would fix how fucked up the United States Congress is with 5 simple rules. The first rule obviously being term limits. The people in Congress should be just like the president. They are only allowed to serve 2 terms. Then they can make way for someone else who has something else to say. Rule number 2, congressmen and women are paid the median salary of the state they represent. If the congressman or woman wants to make more money, they need to take action to raise the median salary of the people in their state. This will immediately guarantee that they understand the people they represent. And I know people are going to say that would be hard to do because they have to go back and forth between Washington and their state. That leads me to rule number 3. No more traveling to Washington, and also no overseas travel paid by the taxpayer. Now, how will we accomplish this? Easy. We all know what fucking Zoom is. It is 2024. There is no fucking reason for our representatives to be traveling to Washington. There is no reason they have to meet in the same fucking room. We just install big-ass iPads on each chair, and they can talk it out over Zoom. It's fucking insane that we are paying for our representatives to travel all the way across the country just to fucking vote. All we need is big-ass iPads, secure push-button voting technology, and video conferencing technology. 3 things we already have. As for the overseas travel, there is zero fucking reason for a representative from Idaho to have to go to Paris on official business. They are not foreign dignitaries. They are not part of some international Peace Corps. They are representatives of their state, so they need to stay in their fucking state. Now, if they want to go overseas on vacation, that's fine. They can pay for it themselves. But there's absolutely no fucking reason taxpayers should be footing the bill for representatives or senators to fly overseas. Now, without them traveling all over the place, that's going to free up a lot of time. And that'll lead into rule number 4, which is single issue bills only. Any bill that's submitted to be voted on can only be about one single issue. There is no fucking reason a veterans benefit bill should have anything unrelated to veterans in it. It should be putting up one issue at a time, voting on one issue at a time, and passing or not passing one bill at a time. Want more money for Ukraine? Put up a bill that is just the Ukraine funding. Don't combine it with some bill giving benefits to old people to try to make everyone feel bad and vote yes. If a bill or an issue can't pass on its own merits, then it doesn't need to be passed. And lastly, rule number 5. Anytime a member of Congress speaks to the media or the American people, it is automatically assumed that they are under oath and can be charged with perjury for lying to the American people. And if through a jury of their peers, preferably that jury should also be made up of the residents of the state they represent, they will be immediately removed from office. And that's it. 5 rules to unfuck Congress.
I can't argue with any of that.
I love it all. I mean, I can't even pick my favorite out of all those because I think we've all been screaming for term limits for a long time. That just needs to happen. You shouldn't have a Nancy Pelosi who's been in there since. I mean, these people look like crypt keepers. Why are you in there that long? Like crazy.
No, it doesn't make any sense. And and I really like the tear that this guy is on too. That's older millennial, and you guys can find him. He's under the OM on X, and you can find him on that. That was actually from TikTok, so you guys can definitely find him on there, and we'll obviously have that in show notes here. But Hefe, your thoughts?
I mean, everything that guy said is so painfully obvious, and I mean, it makes so much sense that it hurts to know that there's no chance of it ever happening. It's
Right.
the corruption and the. I mean, it just runs so deep. I mean, like you said, these fucking people are 90 years old, and that one chick from the Northeast, I think she passed away, but she couldn't even fucking function and vote. They're telling her what to do. Do this.
Right.
Vote, it's laughable, but it's real life, and that's really it's frustrating. I mean, to hear this guy lay it out like that and be like, yes, why aren't we doing that? But it won't happen.
No, and I guess why not? You know, I went on a little bit of a rant before you came on, Hefe, and I just asked the question, what if none of us paid our taxes next year? I mean, because they're clearly not listening to our voices and our votes and what we want, what the American people want. So we need to vote another way. And I mean, short of doing what this guy, older millennial, is saying, if we can't do those 5 things, which again, like you said, seem painfully obvious and so easy to do, what an easy fix. But we all know that it won't happen. So then fuck you. You don't get my money. You don't get my money.
Yeah.
I really like the single bill votes. I think that obviously that's a no-brainer. I've never understood them traveling on behalf of the United States. That's never made any sense to me.
Right.
And yeah, there's no reason they need to leave home. Period.
Nope.
Beer to Liberty has in Texas, state reps are part-time state employees, $7,200 salary, and only meet at the Capitol every other year.
Love that. I mean, unless I'm sure if there was some emergency, they would meet sooner. That there's always that. You always have that stipulation. I mean, hell, when you get to a certain level, like I'm a supervisor at my work, like I'm basically on call. If there needs to be an emergency call, I need to take that call.
Right.
And so, like he said, we have that technology now. So why would we need to meet in person and wave the fucking Ukraine flag in each other's faces and jerk off to it? You can do that from home.
And you don't have to wear pants.
Right. Double bonus. Although some of those people, I mean, they probably have their pants off more than we want anyway.
Right.
That's true. That's very true. So yeah, that was a very, very fun Saturday. This has been going on all day, and it's been nothing but absolute crap. So, but that's what we have to look forward to from our Congress. Hefe, I need your advice.
All right.
I have quit all of my fantasy football leagues. It is with heavy heart. I am no longer running them, and I have also stopped playing in another one. Had to happen. Just kind of losing interest, and might try and do it again someday, but not right now. How did you cut yourself off when you left the game?
Oh, it was easy. I mean, I was just honestly, I was just done with it. I mean, it just didn't do anything for me anymore. I mean, what you could do is just start betting on sports. It doesn't have to be a lot of money, but it changes. I mean, it totally changes your perspective. You're looking at different things, and I think that's part of the reason. And plus, the last draft that I did, it just sucked. I got a middle number, like a 6 or 7 out of 12 teams, and I had to pick between Saquon Barkley and how was it? I think it was a Cowboys running back. But they're both just like, it's, and they're like, a bunch of my guys got hurt in preseason. It's just like, what am I doing? This is not fun. And it got even less fun as it went on. So I just it was really easy for me. Sorry, it's not much help for you to quit cold turkey, but that's how it worked for me. I kind of it was an easy quit for me.
And Fitz, that was,
But do
that
you
was
guys
kind of the
remember?
same way for you, right?
What's
Yeah,
that?
yeah. I mean, mine was helped because I was moving, and I had all these other responsibilities, the move and switching jobs and trying to learn, everything I was trying to learn. I didn't have the bandwidth for it, so that was easy. Plus, if you guys remember, that last season I was there, I won. Like I won, I got first place, and so like I just pieced out. Like I just left. Like I'll take the money and run and just like end on a high note, which was pure luck, but it happened, and I'm I'll take it. But no, I mean it was, but since then, I thought it would be hard. I thought maybe, we can do it long distance now, so maybe I will jump back in. And kind of like you said, Hefe, it's just I've lost so much interest in the games, especially, and then now the last couple years, it looks like there's a kind of a strong possibility that it might be rigged, or at least certain parts of it are rigged. And so it's like, what, like you said, what am I doing? Like, what are we doing here? Like, why do I give a shit? And so, yeah, what's nice is I do have very fond memories. I remember when it was fun. I remember when it was exciting, when it was like a thing that we all got together to do, was to
Yeah.
have our big draft, and we all got to talk shit about it and take our chances and call our shots. And it was such a, like a relationship building thing, with your friends. It brought so much, and it just doesn't do that anymore. We have so many other things to fill those gaps that I don't know. I don't miss it. Like I literally have not missed it once.
I'm
And
also
I don't think you will either.
I don't think I will either as well, because even the camaraderie I don't really miss. I mean,
Right.
there's like 3 or maybe 4 people that I wanted to talk to or still talk to that I'm really close to. After that, everybody's just really fucking annoying. And
Right.
I don't want to deal with it. I blocked conversations. I went total hermit, went underground, set my lineups, but I just didn't want to do this shit anymore. And
Yeah.
this week it was it. So I am announcing my retirement from fantasy sports, and we will see what happens in the future. But for now,
Hanging up the board.
I'm hanging them up. I'm hanging up the spikes, and the jock strap's going to be hung up, and that's going to be that.
Okay,
good about it.
hold on real quick. What if we do get that women's hockey league going?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yep.
Yeah, the women's what was it? Thong hockey or something. Yeah, if we hit the lottery, big announcement for everybody. If we do, any of us hit the lottery, we are going to start a women's thong hockey league, and Fitz is going to run the Eugene chapter or team,
Of course. Yeah.
and Hefe's
No,
gonna
I think
take
they
the
should be called
Scottsdale
chapters.
chapter. Chapter
They should
is
definitely be
better.
chapter.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
chapter.
we can call
Yep.
them chapters. And we're gonna employ everybody who's on the as far as on the show. All of our listeners, we're all gonna be employed, because we can go ahead and
Oh
put
yeah.
these franchises in every city that they're in.
Right. Every Patreon member, you get a franchise, and
Yep.
you run it however you want. I mean, if you want to listen, if you want to win games, and you want to have, quote unquote actual athletes on your team, you can do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm getting the cutest, hottest girls, and they might also be athletes, but
Mhm.
you know,
I gotta go.
All right.
all
I'm
right,
excited.
okay.
I'm excited for this though.
On,
I can't
on that
wait.
note,
All right.
All right, I should be back in 40.
all right, man. Later.
Later.
No, I love that idea. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's not an attempt to like return to misogyny or anything. These girls are gonna be paid well.
Yep.
They're
talented.
and they're gonna know. Yeah, they're talented. They're
We're
gonna
gonna
know what
pay-
their role is.
Better than the WNBA. We're gonna do this just to trounce the WNBA.
I love
No
it.
offense. No offense
'Cause-
to WNBAers.
well, no. Fuck the WNBA. Oh shit.
You know
I
that
didn't
number
mean that,
one.
literally.
Yeah, they wouldn't let you fuck them anyway. So
No.
can't. No,
They don't really like guys.
You know that Caitlyn chick? She's going to make $76,000 for coming out and being number one in the draft. That's all she makes. Which I think that it might be a little absurd. That might be a little bit absurd. I think they should be paid probably a little bit more than that. I know.
Well, yeah, because I make more than that. That's like, that's like. I mean, I'm not. Here's the other thing, though. What is her responsibility? Like, go out and entertain and play sports. Like I have a lot of staff, a lot of children under my care. So I mean, I guess if you're like looking at it, I don't know.
I thought it was interesting that was the number that was thrown around this week, and of course everybody kind of got on. Oh, she should totally be paid, a hell of a lot more. Which I would agree. She could probably be paid a little bit more, obviously, but let's not bury the lead here that it's subsidized by the NBA.
Right.
So
I mean, I saw Bill Burr's rant on all of that multiple times. People were throwing that up there when he did that piece at Red Rock. And the thing is, if you just take it on face value, like people got mad at what he said, but if you actually dig down into what he said, he's 100%.
He's right.
It's all truth. He's spitting facts the whole way through. So you can be mad about it, but the reality is that league is dying. It was dead on arrival. And it's just been subsidized by the other league to keep it afloat because they feel like it's the right thing to do, which is great. I actually believe I agree. I think it's the right thing to do. There should be a women's league, a professional women's league. But all these people who are feminists or neo-feminists or whatever, they don't go out and watch the games. They're not supporting the women out there playing and giving their all. There's like 400 people in a huge stadium of 15,000 capacity, and there's 400 people there. So, you're going to bitch and moan, but when it comes time to buy season tickets to the Phoenix Mercury,
where are you? Why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you ponying
Where
up?
are you at?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what would save them? I think the whole trans rights would save them so much. It would get far more entertaining. You get some really big hulking 7-footers out there, weigh about 300 pounds, just transitioned, running up and down the court, dunking. That could save the league. That could take it to a whole new level.
I have so many terrible, awful things I want to say, and I'm not going to say them.
Okay.
I'm going to just
we should move on then. We should move on.
I'm going to let your idea just kind of sit there.
Just hang.
Literally.
Hey, Bitcoin went through the halving yesterday. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. I did, and I you know what was funny about that? At least I found it entertaining. Is people who don't know, number one, who don't know what Bitcoin is. And this is not a disparaging comment because I don't think most people know what Bitcoin is. I'm not even sure I fully understand it. I have an idea, but I don't fully understand what it is. But people who have no idea what Bitcoin is, and then other people who like pretend to know but don't really know, they were freaking out about the fact that it was halving.
Yeah.
Like there was a big freak out sort of in the market, but mostly just on X of people just saying like, you don't know what this means. They're going to take all your wealth and, sequester it to themselves. And it was like, hold on.
No, it's not.
You literally, it's the opposite of that. It's the opposite of that to ensure that there's a certain number of coins in circulation.
Correct.
And there will only ever be that number of coins in circulation, period.
I was expecting, crypto dumped big time in the middle of the week.
Yeah.
Everything kind of crashed. And then I think a lot of it was because of that. But it was interesting to see there really wasn't a whole lot. What's Bitcoin at today?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. I think it was up earlier today because my account looked pretty healthy. Get permanent teeth in 24 hours? What?
What?
Oh, sorry. It's just an advertisement I saw.
Yeah. See, it's back up.
65.
Yeah, it's a 65K right now, which is way better than what it was. I think it dropped down to earlier in the week. It was like down around 64, 63 or something along those lines. So it
I
bounced
saw
back up.
63. Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it did turn into a thing, and there was a little bit of Bitcoin shaming going on earlier. Jamie Dimon even came out, and he was shitting
Yeah.
all over Bitcoin randomly, and I'm pretty sure Jamie Dimon's company, JP Morgan, has a ton of it.
Wasn't that like 2 weeks ago? But maybe 3 weeks ago, they just bought a fuckload of it.
Well, and they're part of BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF.
Right.
So all this is they're trying to shit on it to drop the price so they can buy more, and then he's going to be all over it, slobbering on it in a few weeks. That's all this is. So if anybody's out there, again, we're not finance instructors or investors or anybody like that, but I haven't sold any of mine. I'm not selling it for a while.
Nope.
Whether you believe it or not. Something that did happen that was kind of weird, and we both talked about this. We didn't really understand why this would happen, but Binance actually took their emergency supply that was supposed to be for investors if something bad happened as far as the company goes. They invested it all in USDC. Now, why do you move to that? Unless, I think we both thought we're going down it, like we're getting ready to go ahead and drop CBDCs. Yeah.
Yep.
The central bank currencies have to be coming then if you're going to go ahead and start loading that. It didn't make any sense. I get maybe they did it to house it while during the halving, since it was going to dump.
Well, but it didn't move back.
And it didn't dump that much.
No, and it didn't.
I don't know.
I
it's
still
weird.
I still feel like that was one of those that the timing of it too was odd, because the whole Iran Israel shitstorm was kicking up right when that happened. And so it almost felt like, hey, while they're looking over there, slide some shit behind the couch so they don't know where it went. That's what it felt like. And you can't really do that, at least not to 100% effectiveness these days, because you got people like Unusual Whales that are just watching this shit.
Right.
And they don't miss a thing. But even at that, I mean, as big as Unusual Whales is on X, that was an easy tweet to miss. And that's all you heard about it all week. That was it.
Oh, yeah.
So it's been swept under the rug. And again, like I said, it hasn't been moved back. So it's still sitting in basically the company that's going to start the CBDC movement here in the United States. So that was troubling to me, and it didn't get enough coverage, in my opinion.
Well, it couldn't get any coverage with all the other stuff that was going on. I mean, we had to worry about Biden's shenanigans and all these weird protests. We'll get into those when we come back after the break. But yeah, it was just very, very odd, very, very odd. I want, while we're talking about banks, I do want to get on this one real quick. This is fantastic, and I want you, please, okay. You and Hefe, I'm saying it right here. As long as you take care of my family, okay, this is all I'm asking for. You guys can wheel me in to a bank when I die and take out as big a loan as you possibly can. Just make sure I'm not like whatever we have to do to sever the relationship with my family. Just hook them up, but make sure the loan doesn't go to them. But you can totally take out a loan on my dead carcass when I die, just like this lady did in Brazil. It's absolutely fantastic.
It's what a scheme. So someone thought this up, and then they found the guy, and they were like, okay, this is our moment. I came up with this X number of years ago, and I found Weekend at Bernie's guy. We're gonna wheel him into the bank. He's gonna take out a loan for us. He can't say shit. He can't do shit. This is fantastic. Not only that they did it, but that the entire thing is caught on CCTV.
Oh, all of it is.
They captured every angle of them getting him out of the car, into the wheelchair, up the elevator. They're now walking down the hall. Faces and names have been redacted and all that, but it's just unbelievable. And I didn't see what the size of the loan was. How big was the loan?
I don't think I never saw what the actual size. No, actually, it was $3,250, which maybe that's a big deal in Brazil. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't even know. You know what's weird? Like you could name several countries, and I would be able to tell you what currency they use. I have no idea what Brazil uses. I'm going to effort that. I'll look that up. You keep going on this video here. I'll look
I think it is $1, but actually, it might at this point it might be a ruble because of BRICS.
Right.
Anyway, dead Brazilian man wheeled into a bank by his niece in a bizarre plot to get her a bank loan was malnourished when he died and may have been poisoned, according to reports. The cause of death for Paulo Roberto Braga, 68, has initially been listed as bronchoaspiration and heart failure, according to an autopsy report obtained by Metropolis, which noted that he showed signs of malnourishment. An emergency care doctor who saw him suspected that he had been poisoned, with the body sent for toxicology testing on a blood sample of his stomach, according to the report. So she wheels him out of the emergency room, and this is a New York Post article, but she wheels him out of the emergency room, throws him in a car with a got a wheelchair going with him. And now you see all to the point where you actually see her trying to get the loan, and his head is lolling all over the place. She's asking him, "Hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me? You have to sign this." It's the most horrible, wretched thing. I think. No, it's not the most horrible, wretched thing. It's bizarre. It is wretched, but it was just absolutely. I want you guys to do this though, and then tape it, and then post it.
So the currency they use is called the real, which of course just makes me think of Pulp Fiction, like a real with cheese. Yeah, it's divided into 100 equal centavos. So and then the plural of real is, I believe you would pronounce that reis. Or Reyes. So yeah, it's equivalent to about I'm sorry. There are 3.76 Reyes to $1. So she took out a $10,000 loan, basically, is what she was asking for.
And now she's doing time. Jay in chat.
Oh wait.
To be fair, this is funnier than Weekend at Bernie's. Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's. I mean, the scenes there where she's literally moving his hand and trying to stick the pen in it. It's like, this is too bizarre not to be reality. Someone would actually be dumb enough to try this.
Oh yeah,
it's unbelievable. Yeah.
How's that beer sitting?
It's okay. It as it warmed up, the bitterness notes sort of took flight. And so I'm not loving it, but I am finished with it. I did finish it. So I'm proud of that. I'm gonna kind of stand on that for the rest of the evening. So yeah, what about yours? How'd that one warm up?
Uneventful. I'll never get this beer again. There's nothing memorable about it. Super dry. It's more like a saison. I mean, it's beer. I don't know. I don't remember what I paid for it, but I'm not gonna say I regret it, but I'll never do it again. It's gonna make me think twice about Anchorage too.
Yeah, that's I mean, generally Anchorage just, they knock it out of the park. So they're allowed to, and I won't even say it's a bad beer. It's just a beer you don't like.
Yeah,
they're allowed to have that.
That's absolutely true. No, that's totally fine.
Yeah,
totally fine with it. All right, you ready for beer 2 then?
Yep, let's do it.
All right. Coming back for beer 2. I know we said that we were branching out and we're different beers and all this kind of stuff. But after that last beer, I made my decision that I was going to go after. I need something. I need to completely reverse what was going on.
Palate cleanser. It's so funny you say that. I did the same thing.
I almost feel like that beer fucked up the first part of the show for me. Like I couldn't get going. And I don't know that I'm hoping this is going to do something here, but I really feel like that the first part of the show was flat because that fucking beer was not great. So
well, I was not flat. You speak for yourself, kind sir.
No, I felt flat. I felt
my
flat.
nipples were hard. My nipples were hard. And Beard knows this.
Your more tension of your nipples, your nipple hardness factor.
Beard knows what I'm talking about.
Hardness factor, nipple.
Yeah, it's the Fitz. It's the Fitz. The Fitz scale.
Yeah,
it's the Fitz scale.
All right, so I'm going with the Resident Culture from Charlotte, North Carolina. It's called Probably Existing, which is, I think it's kind of a metaphor for a lot of people. We're probably existing. We're here. You know, we're working, doing
There's
stuff.
no real proof of that, but okay, I'll give you that.
This is a 13%er. Bourbon barrel-aged stout aged in 18-year-old Elijah Craig bourbon barrels for 24 months, then conditioned on toasted pistachios, cocoa butter, cocoa nibs, and Ecuadorian and Ugandan vanilla beans. So, thick, very viscous, almost chunky. You ever had a beer that's like, it just looks like you could suspend things on it? It's that thick.
Oh yeah. Like the surface tension is enough to hold an elephant on one leg.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Like if you were to high dive into it, you would die. Oh. Yeah, definitely.
Chocolate, big time chocolate. It smells like chocolate. So much chocolate. Oh boy. Not real hot either. The booze sneaks in at the back, very understated.
What's the ABV, did you say?
13.
13, okay.
But you don't get a lot of the bourbon. The barreling isn't really there. So I'm not.
Yeah, I feel like
I'm not real excited about that part.
Part of me, I'm a little bit sad about this, but also like kudos to the brewers. But I feel like when you get up over 10%, you used to be able to tell like right away. As soon as you drank the beer, it was like, whoa, I am drinking something that can put me under the table. I need to be careful. Nowadays, you can't. They bury the alcohol, the booze in there so well because I think they charge it up with so many other flavors that your tongue and your brain is confused. It's like, oh my, no, this is just chocolate. It's not alcohol. And so that part of me, I'm a little bit sad because I sometimes like the burn, but other times, having a beer like you're having right now where you're just like, wow, I can't believe this is 13%. That's kind of fun too.
No, it absolutely. And Nestle Quick.
Okay.
Or the chocolate milk that we used to get in
the school. Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of. I mean, it's milk chocolate. And I really wanted more of a beer. More of a stout. And it's
all right.
I mean, it's good.
Hey,
I'm not hating on it, but it's very sweet.
Did you know that if you drink enough of those little chocolate milks that come in the little carton that you get from school, if you drink enough of those, they come out the other end completely unchanged?
No.
It's just chocolate. Yeah, it's just chocolate milk coming right out of you. I'm speaking from experience. I've done it, not on purpose. It wasn't intentional.
So this isn't science fits.
I mean, it kind of was.
Okay.
I mean, because a lot of discovery happens on accident, right? That was an accidental discovery.
True. That is very true. If we didn't have happy accidents, we wouldn't Sorry, go
Well, of
ahead.
course, right. If Newton's apple hadn't hit him on the head, would we even have gravity? What was the name of your beer?
Probably existing by resident
Yeah.
culture.
So that made me think because like you're bordering on an existential, crisis. I hate to use that term because it's so overused, but you're bordering on with that title, with the name of a beer like that. You're
Oh
bordering on.
yeah.
I read this book, Consciousness Explained, by Daniel Dennett, Dennet. I think there's two T's. I think he's a double T. Anyway, fucking mind-blowing book. Like, don't read this book when you're in or around any sort of drugs, alcohol, drug paraphernalia. Don't even be around someone who has taken drugs before when you read this book, because your mind's already going to be fucked. Like, after you're done with it, you're like, okay, I'm actually not real. None of this is real. And you have to make a choice after you read that book. You have to say, I'm going to just continue to play the game, or I'm going to check out of this reality and there is no spoon. You know what I mean? Like from the Matrix, like there really is no
Right.
spoon. It's a mind-blowing book. Anyway, I read it. It's a thick one. Like you have to be ready for it. But if you guys want a fucking trip without doing drugs, read that book. It'll get you. Anyway,
What was it again?
it's called Consciousness Explained. I believe it's from, I want to say 2015, 16. I don't
Okay.
know. I probably have it here on my bookshelf if I could look.
What was the author's name? I'm going to put it in show notes for everybody.
Daniel C. Dennett.
Got it. Okay.
Yep. Dennett,
All right.
two T's. All right, hold on. I've got it right here. Oh, holy shit. I had no idea. The
Uh-oh.
original copyright was 1991.
Oh, okay.
Wow. So they've known this shit for a long time. Well, I read it. I only read it like, I don't know, 6 years ago or so. Mind blowing. Yeah, there it is. That's it. Anyway, you know what's cool about the book, and I know we should be talking about beer news, but what's cool about the book is he'll explain a concept, something to do with your perception, what you think is real, and then he'll show you some shit, either an experiment that proves that perception is wrong, or he'll have you actually go through and be like, hey, look at this box with grid lines on it, and you see a circle, but there is no actual circle there. So is your perception, can you really depend on what your perception is telling you? And no, you cannot. That's the thing. There really is no spoon.
Well, that kind of ties into a lot of the news, right?
Oh, okay, exactly. Thank you. That's exactly where I was going with that.
Hold on.
See, this is why I drink, because otherwise I think about that kind of shit all the time, and I can't. I'll go crazy.
What
I-
beer are you drinking anyway?
Yeah,
What's your
I'm
big two?
drinking a beer. I'll be honest, I picked this one up because I thought the name of the beer was just outstanding. I
Okay.
also think the beer is going to be great, but check out this name. This beer is called Midnight with a Chance of Coyotes. Isn't that great? That's its own fucking poem right there.
It totally is. Who's it from?
This is from Bow and Arrow Brewing. They are a outfit out of Albuquerque, Turkey, New Mexico. Bow and Arrow Brewing. This is an imperial stout with peanut, cacao nibs, and vanilla. So It is brewed in the American Southwest. This is an ode to all of my American Southwest brothers and sisters, and of course the strong Navajo Nation that still resides down there. Let's see if this beer is any good.
Little known fact: New Mexico actually has some pretty good brewers down there. La Cumbra's down
Mhm.
there. Marble Brewing's down there, and they've got a bunch of good stuff down there. So
They
that's
do.
cool.
Oh wow.
I don't think either of us have had a bow and arrow on here before. So this is a
I don't
first,
think so either. Yeah. Okay, heavy on the peanut. The chocolate, I'm appreciating the chocolate because it's not a sweet chocolate. It's a bitter chocolate.
Okay.
which I prefer. I don't like sweeter milk chocolates. I like dark. I like the dark stuff. I'm not getting any vanilla notes at all. So it's mostly just peanut and chocolate. I may, what you said earlier, maybe that first beer kind of ruined my palate. I didn't cleanse all that well.
Yeah.
I didn't cleanse my palate before I took this beer. So maybe I'm just picking up the bitter notes, but solid beer. It's only an 8%er, so I'm not rolling quite as heavy as you are. But so far so good. I do like it. I mean, clearly it's not a sex beer, so I'm sorry to disappoint all of our listeners out there who.
Every weekend we can't have a sex beer every weekend.
No, we can't. But it's been a while for me, so I've gotten a couple of comments like, hey, we want a sex beer from Fitz, and we want to hear you make love. It's hit or miss, and this is a miss. It's not a sex beer. It's good, but I'm not. I'm on a dry spell. Thank you, Beard. I'm on a dry spell. A man can only handle so much vagina.
That's right.
And then you got to take a break.
It's not like you're not getting into the batter's box. It's not like you're trying, or you're not
right.
Trying. I mean, you're still out there swinging,
dude. I think
You need a slump buster. Remember back in the day, Mark Grace?
Yeah.
Get out of a.
I 100%.
My idol.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. He would go out and he'd pick up a very questionable. We'll call him a baseball floozy, and have a good night, and then he'd break a slump. So maybe you need to go out and have a Heineken or something.
I don't know. I'll tell you. I mean,
Light. No, don't do that. You'll end up being Dylan Mulvaney if you do that.
No, dude. I'm still pruny from being so wet before. So I'm gonna let the prune dry out.
Okay.
Before I'm not. This isn't it's not that bad of a slump. I was so soaking wet for so long.
Okay.
I'm just gonna let that one hang. Yeah.
All right. I think sometimes you gotta let stuff hang.
Letting the prune hang and dry out.
You want to hit Dubai next? Protest or Biden shenanigans?
Well, let's go to Dubai, because I think there's some interesting angles that came out of this. I think. Well, let's cover the story first, but then let's talk about, sort of the climate idiots that came out of the woodworks that wanted to say it was climate change, and then all the other aspects we got to.
So this week, Dubai got 10 inches of rain. It's like a year and a half worth of rain, all in one day. So when you look at, it's 18 months of rainfall in 24 hours. So they got 10 inches. So when you look at the flooding here, it is just insane, the amount of flooding that they've got. I mean, it happens here. It happens in Arizona. They obviously weren't ready for it. This is not a wet climate, but it's also a climate that they clouds seed like a motherfucker. It's not even, it is no joke. There were, Beard, all those flooded supercars. Exactly. Well, I saw a picture, or not a picture. I saw a video of somebody's garage, and they had one of those lifts, so that it was a double car garage, but they're able to fit 4 cars in it because they're on top of each other, on lifts, and the cars were just covered. It was just absolutely covered. So if you're looking if you go online, look up Dubai flooding. And you can see it is just an absolute mess. And this is happening throughout the whole United Arab Emirates, the whole area. Just crazy amounts of water. So like you were saying, a lot of the weather yahoos came out, oh, look, this shouldn't be happening. This is terrible for the area, blah, 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 blah. Well, yeah, it is terrible for the area. It shouldn't be happening. And oh, yeah, you just the storm was coming in, and you just absolutely fueled this storm by seeding it. This was bad. This is what happens when we start going in and saying, hey, yeah, I could just go and fuck with Mother Nature. Let's just go ahead and turn her up to 11. That's always a good idea.
Nice Spinal Tap reference. Yeah, I mean, a couple of things happened. I think this was probably 50% natural, 50% they fucked with it. Because the storm, naturally, this storm probably would have dumped a couple of inches. I mean, it still would have been a catastrophe. It would have been a big deal. Because what happened is it got over the UAE and specifically Dubai, and it sort of stalled. And we get that all the time up here in the Pacific Northwest. Is that storm will really come rolling off the Gulf of Alaska, and then it hits all the mountains of the Cascades, and it just stops. It just pauses and just dumps everything it's got right on us. So it's a completely natural phenomenon. So this was already going to be kind of a big deal for them, but the idiots down there decided they thought it was going to blow on through, and they thought, well, let's get as much out of it as we can as it blows through. So they seeded it. And cloud seeding, I mean, you can look it up. It's basically you just drop a bunch of particulates in the clouds to attract water droplets and make them heavy enough to fall, and it makes extra rainfall. Sometimes you can increase the rainfall by 80%. In this case, it looks like they way overdid it, and they increased the rainfall by a factor of 300 or 400%, which is insane. That little tiny ants like us humans can change weather like that, and B, that we would even try, that we would even think that's a good idea. I'm against weather modification on all levels. It's a bad idea. You're playing with forces you have no idea. The thing is, this is the butterfly effect times a million. Like that storm, it did what it did to Dubai, but it's still flowing on through the rest of the world. And who knows what it's going to do when it hits another low pressure system or a high pressure system, or what that's going to set off. You know, you can't drop a bowling ball from the Empire State Building and, well, look, when I dropped it, it was completely quiet and peaceful. Nothing's happening. Well, okay, wait till it lands.
So if you go to whiskeyhellpod.com, you can look at our weather map, and you guys can actually look at the how the weather is actually working through that whole area. And it's wet right now. It is ridiculously wet.
Yeah, it really is. And and so who knows where that's going to go. And again, weather patterns, storms, are regional for us, but they can continue on for years. An actual low pressure system can continue for years. So they have no idea what they've done, what they've set into progress here. But okay, they did it, and now they have the catastrophe to deal with. I can't imagine insurance rates in that part of the world. I can't imagine what's going to happen.
There was a little blurb. I caught it on our feed, and I can't substantiate it. And maybe we'll see what happens in the next few weeks and see if something comes out. But there was somebody was, we'll call it a conspiracy right now, that there was a ton of flood insurance purchased right before this happened.
Oh, really?
And that's not something that, why would you buy Dubai? Why would you buy flood insurance in Dubai? It doesn't make any senci. But yeah, exactly. I saw that pop up, and I thought that was interesting. So it's kind of like it's kind of like 9/11 when,
I was just going to say, yeah. Buy a bunch of put options on the airlines. Yeah. Yeah. So, so concurrently with this catastrophe, wow, that was some big words. I apologize. At the same time that this whole debacle was going on in Dubai, wow, I like alliteration tonight. There was a group of scientists who said that they finally are going to release their findings of these experiments they've been running. And long short of it, I'll tell this, I promise it'll be quick. Basically, they've been sending drones up into clouds.
Yep.
And they have been, instead of seeding the clouds with noxious, poisonous chemicals, they've gone up with these drones and equipped these drones with a large enough battery that they can electrify the clouds.
That's a good idea.
Charging the water particles makes them attract to one another. So they're essentially seeding the cloud without putting seeds out there. They're just making the water droplets attract to each other. and they are getting anywhere from 5 to 7 times more output from doing that than they were from seeding. The reason that this is significant, number one, if they want to seed clouds, they don't have to pollute the skies anymore. So that's cool. But number two, remember that the climate zealots want you to believe that all of the climate change that's happening on this planet is due to us, to humans.
Right.
That it's the CO2 that we're putting out and the methane that the cows are putting out that we eat. And that's what's causing all these weather changes and these extreme. And there's a group of people, of which I am part of, who've been saying, hold on, you're not taking into account the sun and its increasing energy output and what that energy output means when it hits the atmosphere. And what that means is it increases the electricity and the charges in the clouds. So we've seen it many times where a hurricane will be a category 1 or 2 hurricane, and then a sunspot will, or a CMA will pop off, and all of a sudden that thing intensifies rapidly in 24 hours, and it hits Florida as a category 4 or 5. We've seen it over and over and over. Because energy, if you put energy into a system, it's got to go somewhere. So these people who put these drones up in the clouds are basically proving the fact that it's more so the energy you put into the clouds than it is CO2 or particulates. That's not what
silver
does it.
iodide or anything like that.
Whatever, right? It's not the particulates that cause the rain, and these major. So what this means for us, and I'll just throw it out there one more time, is that yes, we are going to see more intense, more devastating storms. Yes, we are going to see more lightning strikes on the planet. Yes, we are going to see pockets of warming. We are also going to see pockets of cooling. And I'm not going to say it's 100% the sun, but it's mostly the sun influencing all of that and dumping energy into our atmosphere, and it's got to go somewhere. And that's where it's going, is into our ionosphere. That's what the ionosphere is there for. And if that leaks down into the troposphere and causes these different storms, that's what causes our microclimates, and that's what causes us to be a rainy rainforest up here, and you guys are a desert down there. That's what it's supposed to do. But because we have a weakening electromagnetic, grid, and the electromagnetic force around the planet is weakening, these things are going to be increasing in intensity. That is a fact, but it has nothing to do with your car or the cow that you ate. Nothing.
No, the scam is still alive. The scam is still totally alive.
Yeah.
Did you want to play? Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say that's my rant. And it's not even a rant. It's just sort of an FYI. That's for our listeners' information. I'm actually looking at the real science, and what the real numbers say, not what the media tells us. And so, take it for what you will. Do your own research. But I the fact that they did this experiment and they proved that it can happen means that it's proof of concept for everything that I have been saying, Ben has been saying, that these weather patterns are increasing in intensity. Absolutely. But it doesn't have anything to do with us. That's all.
I know I've said this before, but it is so vain to think for an instance that Mother Nature, the earth, can't just shake us off like fleas.
Right.
We are just a blip on the historic timeline. That's it. We are nothing more. We'll be lucky if we exist for a long enough period of time that it actually matters. But it's just surreal that we're still having to discuss that. But you wouldn't,
agreed.
It's a great capitalism opportunity too.
Sure.
You get to sell a whole ton of EVs, right? You get to, we can go ahead and get rid of wood burning stoves. You can get rid of gas burning stoves, buy only electric stuff. It's a fantastic opportunity to go ahead and abuse what's a normal event and take everybody out for a ride. It's fantastic. So I want to go back to Uri Berliner from last week, the NPR editor
yeah.
that was that is now been suspended from
Fired.
NPR,
Yeah.
and
I
he
thought he got
resigned.
fired.
Now
Yeah,
he
okay,
he
okay.
actually he actually resigned after they
Good
tried
for
to
him.
suspend him. But
Yeah.
here's some interesting stuff that's come out, and well, this is Catherine Mayer, the CEO of NPR.
New
Well,
public enemy number one.
yes. Everybody is banging on her like she needs to be banged on. Let's listen to her here real quick. This is good.
Free and open as some of our founding principles, sort of free and open source, coming from the idea of the open source community. Well, I have come to the opinion and the perspective that free and open was a way of looking at the world that was inherently limited relative to what we were trying to achieve. Free and open has the best of intentionality, but in the end, what free and open often ended up doing, and particularly in the case of Wikipedia, was really recapitulating many of the same power structures and dynamics that exist offline prior to the advent of the internet. And so what we ended up seeing was Wikipedia really rebuilt this idea of knowledge as a whole around what the Western canon. You see the exclusion of communities, of languages, because of the ways in which Wikipedia is based on reliable sources. The idea of a written tradition is something that is particular to the idea of a written tradition, which is particular to some cultures and not to others. The ways in which we ascribe notability often really comes from sort of this white male westernized construct around who matters in societies and who is elevated in whose voices. And so some of these ideas of sort of this radical openness really did not end up with the intention, really did not end up living into the intentionality of what openness can be.
So she's wonderful, and obviously has a huge problem with the white male westernized construct. Loved that quote. This person is, I don't think there's any doubt that she's a spook. Check out this now she's actually on the board for the Signal Foundation, which we just found this out today. So we use Signal for our chat, and I think we should go ahead and review it, although I'm not sure anything is safe at this point. Catherine Mayer, here's her byline. Catherine Mayer is the former CEO and executive director of the Wikimedia Foundation, responsible for Wikipedia. She's currently a non-resident senior fellow at the Atlantic Council, where her work focuses on the intersection of technology, human rights, and democracy. Prior to Wikimedia, she was the director of advocacy for the digital rights organization Access Now. Mayer is a term member of the Council of Foreign Relations, a World Economic Forum Young Global Leader, and a security fellow at the Truman National Security Project. She's on the board of directors for the Center for Technology and Democracy, Consumer Reports,
Yeah.
the Digital Public Library of America, Adventure Scientists, and System.com, as well as a trustee of the American University of Beirut. She's an appointed member of the U.S. Department of State's Foreign Affairs Policy Board, where she advises the Secretary of State on technology policy. She received her bachelor's degree. What's that?
No, I was just going to say, does that sound like someone that should be running a public media conglomerate like NPR?
Oh, if you're trying to control the message, and if you're a spook, absolutely.
That's my point. I mean, you know, there's lots of. I mean, if you want to go down a rabbit hole tonight, you know, have a shot of whiskey and then go look up the Council on Foreign Relations, and you start realizing what the Council of Foreign Relations was originally established to do, what it has become, and what its goals are for 2030. It is the American arm of the WEF, and she's parts of both of those organizations, which most people are. So right there, you don't have to go any further than that. She's part of the Council of Foreign Relations. You can stop there. She's a government spook. She's a publicly identifiable person who's being paid by the, I don't know, do we call them the cabal? Are we there yet? I don't know. I don't know what we call them, but
we haven't used the term cabal yet, but I think it's
know.
totally in play. I think we can go there.
So she's I mean, she's like one of these people that if she's not a founding member, she's like second gen.
Oh yeah.
And she's this, yeah, she's the CEO of NPR. Are you kidding me? NPR may never recover from this. I mean, truly, because those of us who are awake, yeah, I mean, same. I hope it dies. As a public entity, I hope it's gone. Because there's too many of us who know what it is now. It's never going to be what we loved. You will never have, you know, you mentioned last week, you know, Click and Clack, the Tapper Brothers, you know, Car Talk.
Yep.
We're never going to have shows like that again because, number one, you know, half of those guys are gone. And number two, because they don't want that kind of truth out there. No.
They don't want that kind of
message.
Wholesome content. It has to be a narrative. It has to drive. It should be the narrative. Narrative should be worked into NPR. It should be narrative public radio. That's what it should be from now on. That's all it is. And they can take all of their 87 news editors that they have in their DC office, and they're just going to keep cranking. They're just going to keep turning out the absolute garbage that they produce. 2018, Stacey Abrams, in her little stint as an election denier, Catherine Mayer funded it.
Backed her. Yep. Financially backed that bitch.
Yeah, I would like somebody to open her finances and see who's paying her besides NPR. Nope. Hey, did you know that Biden has an Uncle Bosie that died because he was eaten by cannibals?
Nice transition. Yes, I love this story. And okay, once again, can we just say up front, the internet wins again. The memes around this were incredible.
Oh,
but yes,
fantastic.
I now know about Uncle Bosie. He allegedly was eaten by cannibals. This story just gets so good.
Well, let's listen to Biden right here. This is great stuff. I feel for him.
And my uncle, they called him Ambrose Bosie, they called him Bosie. My Uncle Bosie was a hell of an athlete, they tell me, when he was a kid. And he became an Army Air Corps before the Air Force came along. He flew those single-engine planes as reconnaissance over war zones. He got shot down in New Guinea, and they never found the body because there were a lot of cannibals for real in that part of New Guinea. And then
So, the wildest story I think he's ever told. I mean, he's met with leaders that have been dead for years. Just the other day, I mean, he's had some wild stuff.
He was a professor at a university. That was pretty wild.
Yep, he never actually taught an actual class. Yep, just fantastic. But I feel for him though. Finding out your Uncle Bosie, died because of cannibals. Now this was great too. Now the White House has backtracked. They've admitted, he perished in the middle of the ocean. Right. That's what happened.
There's no cannibals here. There's probably sharks, which happens when you crash in the water. Yeah. If not sharks, fish. Yeah. And can I just say before you start this clip?
Yeah.
Ducey, you know that in real life he's a fucking douchebag, and I wouldn't buy the guy a beer. I would let him buy me a beer, but I wouldn't buy him a beer. But there are times when I'm actually cheering for this fucking guy. He is such a prick, and he's a prick at the right times.
Oh
and
yeah,
for the
he's
right
a calculated
reasons.
Prick. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, it's so good, so good.
Like I might I might actually, yeah, I'm going to say it. I would buy him a beer. Like, and I would call him douchey. I wouldn't be able to call him douchey. I would literally ask him how he keeps from being called douchey the whole time. But I would totally buy him a beer he absolutely did. He got slayed by that. But the timing, the precision of the questions that he lights Jean-Pierre up with is just fantastic. Here's on Uncle Bosie.
And I agree. Second Lieutenant Ambrose J. Finnegan was a war hero, but the Pentagon says, for unknown reasons, the plane was forced to ditch in the ocean. Both engines failed at low altitude. Why is President Biden saying he was shot down? There's no evidence of that. And why is he saying that his uncle was eaten by cannibals? That is a bad way to go.
He lost his life. It's not, look, I'm not, we should not make jokes about this.
It's not.
Wait.
President Biden said that his uncle was eaten by cannibals.
I mean, your last line, it's for a laugh. It's for a funny statement. And he takes this very seriously. His uncle, who served and protected this country, lost his life serving. And that should matter. You have a president that lifts up our U.S. troops, our American veterans, every day, who thinks about them, who actually thinks they're all heroes, and they are. And you have a former president who disrespects that, who doesn't honor that. Said it as president, suckers or losers. That's what he said.
It's absolutely fantastic.
It's so fantastic. And what in the fuck would she know about service, military service, or heroes? What would she know about any of that? She's a fucking figurehead. She's a bullshitter con man.
Absolutely.
Con lesbian. She's a nobody. She will be nobody someday. No one will remember her. She didn't protect the safety of anyone. She's other than a decrepit, senile old man. What do you know about it? And who are you to chide douchey on what he can or can't ask? Maybe he was trying to make a joke and we all laughed about it. You know, imagine this.
The question was on point. The question was on point.
It was on point.
Perfectly in bounds.
Imagine if she had laughed and been like, okay, yes, the president made a gaffe and it happens. You know, he was told a story in his family. It wasn't true. Let's move on. I would have respected that so much more. Instead, she wants to throw American patriotism in his face. The fuck you know about it? She's the most terrible person ever. My God.
Let's go out to this grandstanding that happened. Now, last week we talked about this big aerial missile barrage that was taking place between Iran and Israel.
Yeah.
Well, allegedly, because it doesn't appear that really much of anything happened. Again, it goes back to that what didn't happen last week. But on the 14th, and I think that was Monday or Tuesday morning, the White House releases this patriotic conversation, which was so fucking staged. So staged.
Oh my God.
The Situation Room, Biden looks like he had to have been hot. I don't know. Maybe he did some coke beforehand. They had him shot up on something because he looks energetic. You know, he has the evil look on his face. He's got dark Biden going on with the eyebrows. They're tinted. Look like little devil horns coming out.
A little pep in his step.
Yeah. So here's this awfully shot. It was sent. It was somebody on a GoPro or a drop cam or something. Yeah. The camera's moving like they're trying to make it look like it was just done. It's just off the cuff. Yes. Here it is.
It's made to look spontaneous. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, you guys are the best in the whole damn world, man. The whole world. No, that's not hyperbole, man. Both these squadrons. You're incredible. Absolutely incredible. You made an enormous difference, potentially saving a lot of lives, and thanks to extraordinary skill, the United States helped Israel take down nearly all those incoming missiles. You're remarkable. Huh?
Mr. President, We thank you for your words. This is Lieutenant Colonel Curtis Culver, 494th Fighter Squadron Commander, and we're mighty proud to have our part in that contribution, sir.
You're just incredible. I apologize for my enthusiasm. I'm supposed to be much more reserved.
Not at all, sir.
But I'm
Proud to be an American.
Well, we tell you make me proud. And I'm not just saying it. I swear to God, you're incredible.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Keep it going. Stay safe, man.
Stay safe, man.
Yeah, man.
He's the president of the United States, and I get it. And I had a little conversation online with somebody about this, and I get that matters to the military when there are happenings around the world, when there's events that happen. I'm not belittling the impact of the military. I'm not. What I'm belittling and shitting all over is the fact that they decided that this was a good idea to go ahead and grandstand. There was nothing about that wasn't staged. It was just like when he went into fucking, what was it? He went into some burger shop this week, and that was fucking staged. This was absolutely staged, from the shitty camera work that was happening, the scripted comments. Yeah, we might have shot down a whole bunch of missiles. Absolutely. We probably did. But taking advantage of this, and all this was trying to make him look like a strong leader. Right before going Uncle Bosie and proving that he's an absolute, just a borderline invalid. It was disgusting. And I think that actually shits all over when we do have people who are actually putting themselves in danger every day across the world in fights that we shouldn't be involved in.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think, first of all, I'm just going to say, just because I'm skeptical of everything these days, there's absolutely zero proof that the U.S. intervened with any of these missiles.
There's not.
No. I mean, but okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But yes, these are all photo ops. That's
all it is.
These are moments to try and make him more human. These are all moments for him to look, candid and competent, and that he's, just being open and honest. And he's allowing cameras with this very intimate conversation with a colonel of the 494th or whatever it was. Okay, look, let's just say I buy all of it, which I don't, but let's say I do. Add that on top of, he also allegedly, possibly, maybe brokered a peace deal in the Middle East, because we're hearing that now, that Iran and Israel are going to call it off. And Saudi Arabia and Iraq are all, it's this weird four-way fuckfest orgy thing that these people are going to be recognized, and these people are going to get their land back, and these people are going to be citizens of NATO or what. I don't know. There's some weird political orgy going on. Everybody's getting sucked off somehow. And they're trying to make it look like Uncle Joe is at the center of all of it. And right there, I know it's all fake. I know it's all false.
It's completely
it's a
fake,
farce.
and nobody is buying it. It's
right.
like the
none of us.
worst political movie ever. I don't pretend that we're any better at this stuff than anybody else. We pay a lot of attention. Okay, everybody in our chat pays a hell of a lot of attention to what's in the news. Whether it's Beard, Jay, Aaron, Buttercup, L, everybody pays a hell of a lot of attention. You can see through. You can see the Matrix. Let's fucking face it. You can see the Matrix. You see what's theater. Yep. You see what's shenanigans, and the fact that we still have so many people that are snowed by this, it is absolutely astonishing. It is absolutely astonishing.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. The American public we are at fault in this. Just in the sense that
absolutely.
we're complicit. Yeah, that we're allowing it to happen. And again, I have to pose the question again. What if we didn't pay our taxes next year? Just what if? What if we didn't give these people the power that they have seized? We gave it willingly, because that's what you're supposed to do. Like you said, all due respect to the president,
supposed to
all
trust.
due respect to Congress. Yeah. All due respect to our military leaders. But what happens when those people fail us? All due respect goes right out the fucking window. Right with my fart. It's gone. It's worthless. It stinks up a room. Let's get it out of here. Let's air the room out. You don't get my power anymore. I'm seizing it back. I want people in Congress. I want a president who gives a shit about the same things I give a shit about. And we haven't even talked about fire guy, immolation guy, the guy that set himself on fire. Because he was willing to fucking burn himself because, he's saying what we have both been saying, which is Trump is just the same. He's another side of the same coin. He's saying, look, there's a major, how did he put it? A economic coup, fascist coup is what he said. A fascist coup coming. And he said, it doesn't matter if you reelect Biden or you elect Trump. It's coming regardless. They're both part of it. They're both just two different sides of the same coin. We're all fucked. And he was willing to set himself on fire for it. And
So-
I mean, that's dramatic.
For everybody who's living under a rock at this point, Max Azzarello,
Yeah.
Azzarello, self-described researcher. I like how Nick Sorter says that. Set himself on fire outside Trump's hush money hearing, and just self-immolation, lit himself on fire, turned himself into barbecue, and that was that. I think he died today. This all happened yesterday. I think something else is going to come out on this guy. I know he was saying that, yeah, there's a coup coming and all this kind of stuff, but did you see his donations that just suddenly got released very oddly?
Okay. Yes, I did. And I will say that
There's weird stuff going on with this.
Yeah. And again, amateur journalist here. I didn't go to college for this shit, so take it for a grain of salt.
I am not a professional journalist.
Yeah, what looked genuine to me was his manifesto. What looked fake was the donation list. Because you could fabricate that so easily.
You absolutely could fabricate it. You could also fabricate the manifesto, the paper manifesto. He's got stuff online.
But you can't.
I'm telling you, I think there's something else going on.
His hundreds of hours. I mean, he could very well be a Manchurian candidate. Just thrown out there to get us off the scent. I am fully willing to admit that. Most of me believes that's probably what's going on here. But
allegedly, he sued the Clinton Foundation, and he used to work for the Clintons.
Well, maybe that's how he knows what he knows. I mean, maybe he was looking at the fact like, do I go and drown in their pond, or do I just set myself on fire and make a point? I don't know.
Stuff going on. I think
this
it's
whole
going to be very interesting.
This whole thing was so dramatic, like so over the top dramatic, as self-immolation is. I mean, you don't do that lightly.
Hey, the camera angles were fantastic for this one. You see how much play this got versus the guy who light himself in front of the Israel embassy.
Right. We got no footage of that guy.
No. Well, you just got a little picture, but this Max is all over the place.
Yeah, Max got there's footage of him being put out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
there's an aerial view. There's across there. There was a news
reporters.
team that was out front.
Yep.
You got phone footage.
Yep.
Very
you got all
well
kinds
covered.
Of
stuff.
Yeah, and so okay, to that point, maybe Max did it right. Maybe Max found the exact soft spot and did it at the right time when he knew he would get the max impact. But honestly, more More likely to me is that he was just another Manchurian candidate who got activated. You know, another like, hey, if I say this command word, we also Winter Soldier. The guy didn't want to do what he was doing, but he was given the right command words. He had to do it. If I give him these words, he goes and shoots up a school. If I give him these words, he sets himself on fire. And if I give him these words, he tries to sneak a shoe bomb onto an airplane. Like, what are we? Is anything real anymore? Is anything? I mean, do we have any actual crazies out there, or are they all just government funded?
Well,
I don't know, because I feel like I'm one of the crazies. Yeah, consciousness explained, man.
The pun of the night goes to Jay. He just wanted his 15 minutes of flame.
That's solid.
That's
well done.
That's absolutely brilliant, and it's not too soon either. I think that was perfectly placed. You waited a day and a half. You got it in now. I think it's really well done. And yes, we are saying that the Clintons' enemies are actually killing themselves, apparently.
And Beard, to your comment, all of our behavior got weirder during COVID.
We started this fucking show.
We did start this show.
Hey, we got Tabby. Tabby's here. Tabby's out karaokeing tonight. Tabby, just drop in a chat. Have you gotten in a fight yet? Oh, karaoke was a bust? I'm sorry. That's too bad. That's too bad.
Yeah.
Well, Tabby, since you're here, congratulations on your 150th show.
Yes, huge shout out to the 150th.
You and Mike.
That's awesome.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, we just love you guys so much. But even if we didn't, like, even if you weren't a friend of the show, but you were just like a fellow podcaster who reached 150, that's like, I would still be giving that shout out, because that's a really huge accomplishment. I'm not just saying that because we like you guys. I'm saying it because it's big. So good on you.
It absolutely is. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I thought we were going to get a second installment of Hefe tonight. I don't think that's going to happen.
I did too. He said 40 minutes, and it's been an hour. So fuck that guy. He's a liar. Next, he's going to tell us his uncle got eaten by cannibals or something. I don't know.
Motherfucker. Yeah, he might. That's all right. Hey, let's talk about what you want to do when you come out here. You're going to be coming out in a few weeks. Now, next week, so we'll have our show next week. Same usual business. Next Saturday.
The only thing that'll be different next week is I probably won't do the after show. I'll just be here for the show, and then I got to bounce.
Okay.
But otherwise, next week we'll still do a show. It'll still be normal, same bat time, same bat channel. And then I'm out in Phoenix, a couple weeks later.
Well, I'm going to be the following week. I'm going to be in Dallas. So I'll actually be doing the show from
Corbin, Dallas.
Corbin, Dallas.
Oh, what are you doing in Fort Worth?
I got a conference I got to go to, so we're gonna hang out in Dallas and do stuff there. I don't know what we're doing yet.
Dallas is a great town, man. I love Dallas Fort Worth. I actually, Dallas for the nightlife is fucking amazing, but I actually like Fort Worth better.
Okay.
Just for like the people and the community, but fucking Dallas, the nightlife there is like I don't feel like COVID even touched Dallas. Like it is what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It. I'll have to tell you when I get there. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it though. I've never been there before. But what I wanted to touch on real quick was I'm thinking when you're out here, we should still put out the show for that week. We might not do a live show. We'll see.
Okay.
But I think we should do the show from various locations. What do you think about that?
Oh, kind of like we did at the AVN Awards.
Yeah,
just record us like progressively getting worse as humans.
Yeah. I think that would be the way to go. We'll hit a whole bunch of different breweries, and we'll just talk we'll bullshit the whole time. And I think that Saturday will probably be the big drinking day. No, I'm sorry, Friday. I think Friday will be the big drinking day.
Friday, yeah, Friday,
then maybe-
Friday I can go, but even Saturday night, I mean, just depending, we'll see. I like that idea. We'll talk about it offline. And I just want to be there. I just want to see, I just want to see as many people as I can. And, yeah, I said when I got this job, I was going to be coming down there more often, and that's a fact.
You're holding true.
Yeah. So,
all right. We need to get to one more very important story. Jay really wants us to touch on it.
I'm so glad we're getting here. Yeah. No.
Now, if you guys go to Portland, you can look forward to this.
Where we fight racism. First all-inclusive 18-plus public gangbang. Bring your own Bosie. When? August 25th, 5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Where? 109 Middle Street, Portland. Bring a yoga mat, condoms, KY, and a good attitude. No Christians, Mormons, Republicans, whites, able-bodied, TERFs, gainfully employed, forced birthers, Trumpers, gun owners, truck drivers, meat eaters, sexist, xenophobers, racist, bigots, fascists, nationalists, anti-vaxxers, veterans, free thinkers, or anyone else that may trigger. Now, this is why I love Portland. Guess I'm about to go get me some pussy. Or
Bosie.
Bussy. How many people are going to show up to that address? Oh yeah,
that was the best video of the week. Period.
Yeah,
hands down. And that is the most
that's
uninclusive, terrible gangbang ever. How much are you missing out by not being inclusive? This is awful,
dude. From what I hear, racist Bussy is the best Bussy, and they're not even allowing it. Like xenophobic Bussy? Are you kidding me? I will say, like, just from experience, that's how Portland is. Like, this was just a piece of paper taped up onto a fucking light pole. That's every other light pole. You see some weird shit like that. And it's not like Missing Cat it's like, hey, if you're interested in dressing up as a furry while I beat you with my dildo, call this number. Like, that's the shit you see in Portland. It's nuts. Like,
truck drivers are denied. Gun owners are denied. Meat eaters are denied.
Dude, what if this was like
anti-vaxxers?
Some like neighbor spat gone horribly wrong. This guy was like, all right, my neighbor's a dick. I'm going to fucking put this up on every light pole within 10
burn
miles.
His house down. Watch this.
And then everyone, these fucking people show up August 15th or whatever the date was with their guns and their fucking anti-vax attitudes and just burn his house down. I mean, this could just be a terrible practical joke that's about to go horribly wrong. Yeah.
Well, bring your own KY and don't be a free thinker if you want to get into the gangbang.
And hey, Beard, same, man, same. I'm basically disqualified on like 3 or 4 different categories there. I'm not a racist or a xenophobe, but there's a few others there that I fall under.
Let's get into final thoughts.
Whiskey Hill's final thoughts.
My final thought is that a shitty beer is still a beer, and we will drink it. That's all I got. Fitz.
Wow, man, that's deep. I was gonna kind of go the other way and just be a little bit more shallow in my response, but I think it's a really good reminder to just remember that there is no spoon, that this is all a game we're playing, that at the end of it all, as you so eloquently put it, McShane, the buzzards have to eat just as much as the worms do. When you're gone, you're gone. and you get to go off to bigger, better things. So, we're all in this for the game and the entertainment. Let's keep it light. Let's keep a good head on your shoulders, because shit's about to get really weird. Well, it has been getting weird. It's about to get weirder, I think. I feel. And so let's just have fun with it. To quote the Three Musketeers, let's just have fun with it. It's gonna be a good
Just have
time.
fun with it.
Yeah.
Hey,
Until someone gets shot.
Speaking of fun, Hefe, you just missed the Portland gangbang. Any final thoughts for the night?
No. Nope.
Hey, Hefe, did you hear my quote I just said?
No.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm gonna say it, and you'll immediately know the movie, and then it'll prompt you to say something else, I'm sure. But the quote is, "Let's just have fun with it."
I'm just gonna have fun with it.
Just have fun with it. All right.
Yep.
I got shot.
I know.
I know. Oh, yeah. We're just wrapping up, man. What happened? How come? Yeah. Do you have a farm report tonight? What's?
The elephantitis or elephantiasis, whatever it's called, my 2-ball became a 4-ball, and we're gonna blame Gretchen for that.
Oh my God, there's so much to unpack there. First of all, elephantiasis. That is a 4-ball, sometimes a 6-ball.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I was pissed about it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we missed you. But I actually, I hate when you're not here, but I love these weeks because it means there's so much that you get to like have a surprise about on Monday.
Yeah.
And so that's also cool. Because not that we do the show for you, but I throw in little things here and there that I know only you or McShane would get, just because we've all known each other for like 3 decades. But yeah, there was some of that tonight. So
nice. I can't wait. Love those. I have 2 farm reports, one short one, one long one, but should I just save them for next week?
Oh no, you should do them now.
All right. Well, the song "Old MacDonald Had a Farm." You guys are familiar with that? Yes.
Oh yes.
Yes.
I think he is. Do you know that it was traced back to the early 1700s when it was sung by an English opera singer named Thomas de Urshy, and it was actually called shit. Where'd it go? Oh, there you go. It was originally called "In the Fields in Frost and Snow." Isn't that pretty?
Wow, that's way more poetic. Yeah.
That's your farm report.
Wow.
So it's clearly like a totally different song back then.
Well, I mean, so many of these songs are, "Ring Around the Rosie." Like that was literally a song about the fucking plague.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, these things all have roots, like, and usually they're really dark roots. Like the ones that stick, that stuck through the centuries, were like stuff that killed people. But that was good, dude. I had no idea that funny little, nursery rhyme of a song had an actual poetic beginning. I like that.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna have to buckle up next week because the one next week is a collaboration, and it is both disgusting and a little X-rated. So,
oh my God,
you ready for that one?
I have to wait all week for that?
You do.
Jesus. Okay, we're gonna play it like that.
It's like when you go to a movie and you see a preview for something coming out in 14 months that you really want to see, But this is just 1 week.
I like it. I like it. I like it. We could tease our listeners. It gives them something to look forward to. And wets their whistle.
Mm-mm.
Hmm.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Wow, you said it.
Are they still doing drinking?
I don't know that the whole drinking game was happening tonight. Tabby was out at another hole in the wall drinking, so she wasn't in chat. And Mike was hanging out with Gunner tonight. Beard was hydrating after his 4-hour stream fest. Aaron, I think Aaron had a long day. Aaron, and shout out to Mrs. Aaron, who was out of the hospital.
Yeah.
Hope everything's going well there.
Yeah, all the good vibes, all the healing vibes headed your way for sure.
So I can all I want, and I'm not getting anybody super wasted tonight. That's good.
Not even if now, but when they listen to the show and they drink, then it's almost. We're just gonna walk through the beers. What beer are we gonna take to bed, Fitz?
Wrapping it up like a mummy. I'm definitely taking Midnight with a Chance of Coyotes to bed. Nice subtle beer. Great. It's funny that they call it an imperial stout. I mean, I've had just non-imperial stouts feel heavier, feel like they have more alcohol to them. There's zero alcohol to this thing. It's an 8%er. I mean, it's not nothing, but but again, I'm not getting any of the vanilla. It's all chocolate. Maybe just a tad bit of the peanut in there too. The peanut was strong up front. That's gone. It's just all chocolate now, which is not unpleasant. But no vanilla. So, but that's the one I'm taking to bed. My fun little dark beer. What about you?
I'm taking the Resident Culture, probably existing.
Yeah.
It is fitting on many levels tonight. Not the greatest beer, but it's the one I would take home. So that's what I got. I actually still haven't finished it. It's just too sweet, too fucking overdone.
I mean, you guys remember those nights at Club Rio, right? I mean, it's fucking almost 2:00. The lights come up, and you could just see people looking around like, all right, who am I going to take? Who am I taking? Who's left? Who am I taking home?
They're going, please, for the love of God, somebody take me. I mean, wait.
Yeah, someone pick me. Right. Let me be the one you pick. Yeah, that's kind of what this night feels like. Like there wasn't a whole lot of great choices. But I would take either one of these beers to bed. I mean, I wouldn't kick them out of bed for eating crackers. But neither one of them would I have picked, getting gussied up for the night. I didn't put cologne on for this shit. You know what I mean?
Right. What I intended.
Yeah. I didn't shave my balls for this.
Yeah, I just remember going to Club Rio and getting, what did we get, like Sex on the Beach or a Zombie?
Yep.
Yeah.
We just sit there and just stare at all.
Yep. Double fist the Long Island iced teas.
Long Island, yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
$1.25 Long Island iced teas. So you double fist the whole night and you spend $10.
Well, yeah, and you had to double fist because it was so fucking busy. There's no telling when you get back up there.
Yeah.
I mean, those were also my Midori sour days.
Ugh.
So I would go up and get like 2 Midori sours. And I remember walking with them trying to find you guys like wherever. And some girl was like, "Oh, are those for your date?" And I was like, "Yes." I just said yes. And I kept walking. But they were good for a time. Yeah.
You should have said, "No, they're here for you." Baby.
Well, I would have given her one, but I just was embarrassed. I just turned red and I was like, yeah, they're for my date. Bye.
You gotta go.
I wish I knew now what I knew. I wish I knew then what I know now.
Right.
Because I would have talked to every possible girl there every night without even a question. Just talk to her.
Yep.
Just not even with any intentions. Just, hey, how's your night going? But back then it was like, oh my God, she's not going to talk back to me. I can't even look at her.
Come back. Let's fuck.
Best line ever. Never worked, but great line.
All right. Thanks for jumping back in here, Hefe. Thank you, everybody who joined us tonight. Beard of Liberty, Buttercup, L, Aaron, Tabby, Mike, thanks for showing. Jay, I think I got everybody in that. Did I, Fitz? Did I miss anybody? I don't think I did.
No, I think you got everyone.
Okay, I think we're good there. And make sure you guys listen to Gray's Tap Room. Make sure you listen to I Had to Say It pod. I'm Steve McShane.
I am Fitz.
I'm El Jefe.
Think critically.
Act accordingly.
We'll talk to you soon.